Alright folks, what you see here is again a Stider SNG concealed carry or CC model. It's a generation 6. The concealed carry basically means it has this G10 scale, but it's smooth rather than a normal kind of rigid G10 or another one they call a dual gunner grip, which kind of has holes. I wanted something that's not as quite aggressive and I don't know, just a little bit more smooth, and I had heard that the CC version was actually a little more thin than the other ones. What is pretty neat is that this CC version, it is smooth, but when it heats up or you get, your hands get a little more hot, it's pretty grippy. It's not super slick. So you can see my thumb there get a little, it kind of drags across it slowly. So that's pretty neat. This is a very extremely high-end knife. I would consider this more, almost, people may not agree with me, but more art than actual everyday use. You certainly can do that. I may do that, but it's just so expensive that I would hate to lose it. It's kind of one of my big issues, but I'll give it a go. Again, this is only a tool to me, only a collecting hobby. This is not a weapon. Please demonstrate peacefulness. So consider this knife basically a luxury good. No one really needs this knife. There are other knives out there that will do just fine for a lot less money. Of course, this is a heavy-duty knife. It will do its job. The rumor always is that Striders are pry bars. I don't know about that, but you can see the S30V blade is extremely thick here. So it makes it more durable than other knives. Pry bar, I don't know. I would probably end up thinking it's going to damage the point. But again here, S30V blade, titanium back handle, pocket clip titanium, a frame lock right here with a mechanism to prevent the frame lock from bending too far. The old versions were called hinderer locks, but this is just an equivalent. Okay. Again, smoothed out G10 on the front handle. You have a spacer, which is pretty unique for Striders here, of G10. Okay, it's a closed design. Okay, at least on the back. You can see the frame lock right here. Okay. It has, all Striders have an extra large pivot right here. Hopefully that's in focus. Okay, they're known for that, the strength of their pivots. They are much larger than other knives. You can see the blade stop is actually within the blade itself, the right here. I think these are pressed in stoppers right there. They hit up against the titanium slab and the G10 slab on this one. Ergonomics on this knife are amazing. You can see how your fingers fit into the blade right here and right under here, and then this sloped mechanism back here it feels really good. It may look a little weird, but it feels great. Okay, what else? You can see the jimping and ridging pretty long on the top of this knife. You can see a little bit of it down here by the frame lock to get some traction. You can see that the pocket clip is relatively small. It does have a good hold when it's not as tight as a Kershaw one, but it's probably more tight than a Spyderco or a Benchmade, and it slides on pretty easily. But this part right here keeps the knife on pretty firmly. What else? You can see that there's mainly 3 screws that hold the scales together, here and here and here. It requires a special tool to clean out the knife or change this pivot screw here. I don't have one of those yet, and I don't really want to dig into it. The knife itself, it's very light. It's much lighter than what I thought. It's less than 5 ounces. The knife is balanced towards the blade. It's blade heavy, but if you just look at it, this is all S30V, and it's a pretty big slab of it. So it is kind of blade heavy by just a little bit. Okay, this is a brand new one, so it is a little firm to open still. Okay, that's kind of what it looks like closed. Hopefully we're getting a good exposure there on the camera. Try to change that a little bit, see what that looks like. Okay, very nice knife. You can see that it has holes for a lanyard back here. Okay, I am noticing that the blade is actually through the hole there. So it's going to touch your lanyard rope if you choose to use one of those. So I don't think it's necessarily going to cut it, but something to think about. I did get a recommendation to not rope the lanyard through both holes, but go through one hole only. So I may try to do that. The lanyard holes are actually relatively small. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting some military spec rope through there. Not a huge deal. I'm not a huge lanyard fan anyways, but I do seem to like them on these medium-sized knives. Okay, so length-wise closed, you can see that it is just over 4 inches, probably call it 4.5 inches. Okay, let's look at it open here again. You can hear it lock up very tightly there. Probably 8 1/4 inches fully open. The actual cutting surface, you know, probably actual cutting surface less than, right at 3 inches, a little less than 3 inches. Total blade length, probably 3.5 if you count it right about here. So it came extremely sharp. I've actually already been nicked by it a couple times. What I'm finding is that this part right here, you have a little slope where your fingers are, goes up, you have another slope right here, and this little part is really good about catching me right there. So bitten by that twice already. The point is pretty sharp. It's kind of like in the the Spyderco Kershaw sharpness factor. Not quite a Benchmade. Pretty neat, folks. Again, I'll do some more videos about it, but I would say that you know, again, no one needs this knife. This is just a complete luxury good. You know, you could carry almost 4 paramilitaries for the price of this one, and you could have you know, you could break one paramilitary and move on to the next one and still be well less than the cost of this one. So if you're worried about the durableness, right, well, maybe you can go